Hey guys, I just wanted to take a few minutes to apologize for my lack of videos and stuff. I probably haven't posted one. I think it's almost a month now. It's January 5th. I think my last upload was December. Lots happened in the last month or so. Weather's been absolutely terrible. Wet constantly here on the West Coast, or Western Washington. This isn't allowed to be out in the rain because the owner has told me that he doesn't want me to ride it in the rain. He said he didn't mind the GS being out in the rain, but he'd prefer if it was not. Like, maybe a light mist or something. I also got injured a few weeks ago. Again, I needed stitches on my back. I was putting it in a countertop, and long story short, the countertop had sharp edges on the bracket, and I stood up too fast, and it caught me, and I needed 9 stitches put in. So I haven't been doing any riding because of the weather, and I don't have any rain gear anymore. I mean, I have the regular rain gear, but it makes it hard for me to commute. Sorry, my brother interrupted me. But yeah, so I got injured, couldn't do anything for a while, couldn't really bend over, couldn't lift my leg. So yeah, I have been working on this. So currently got 6 out of 8 cylinders ported. I gotta do this one, which obviously had a leak. Oops. This one had a leak on the exhaust. But this side looks pretty good. I left a little bit more of a lip on this one, so I gotta clean this one up a little bit more. But you can definitely tell the difference. So this is getting closer to being put back in. Still got to order a PCV delete or CCV delete, however, if you really care. And then run a catch can or a vent to atmosphere system. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet because I am going to be running boost on it. So I'll probably do a catch can and either have it recirc or just empty it every now and again. I don't know yet. It's kind of hard to find where to drain it back into without welding more than I have to. I need to go through and clean it up and stuff again. You can see all the oil and downside it's all nasty. But so that's the main project right now. So the main reason I haven't been writing that, and I really haven't had time between the kid and the wife and the move. We've been going through and doing a bunch of cleaning on the weekends and taking stuff to the dump, remodel, cleaning out bedrooms, painting, stuff like that. If you're interested in that, then I guess I can make some videos on it later on. But yeah, this is the main priority because I have to have this back together before we move cross country to New England. And this needs to go away, and so does the GS. So if anybody wants to buy it, they are for sale. The owner, I have this one up for $3,000. This is $1,500, or best offer on both. We might be able to work out and do a package deal if you buy both. Just let me know, and I will ask the owner. I got my S65 headers. I'm gonna try to work with these so I can get. If I can't get the turbo setup done in time, then I'm going to end up just throwing these on and running those on the ported heads and the standalone, because the standalone's already wired in, ready to go. It literally just needs to be dropped back in the engine bay and hooked back up, and then it's pretty much all set. So this will be interesting to see and hear, because those are the original ones, and they're not very tubular, I guess. I don't know. I do need to modify these a little bit, which is why I have the welder. That, and also I might make the turbo manifolds and just have them set up and just not do it until after I move and get a new shop. But I mean, I also don't want to pull the engine out again. So we'll see. I might do the turbo, I might not. Depends on how far along I get with getting this back in the car. And I'm almost there. So I pretty much need to do those 2 back cylinders after I rotate it, and I cleaned it out a little bit, but I want to vacuum it and blow it out with the air compressor too. Just make sure there's no shavings in there. Make sure there's no shavings inside, and I don't see any wet spots, so that's good because I sprayed it all out with carb clean or brake cleaner to try and get all the ports cleaned. But I'll probably go through and deep clean this too, and yeah, I just gonna do 2 back cylinders. I'm not sure what I'm doing with the clutch. I think I'm gonna leave the OEM one, or OEM-ish replacement. I think this is a Luck clutch. Yeah, it's a Luck. So it's got the OEM dual mass stock replacement clutch and clutch and pressure plate. I think I have maybe 4,000 miles on this thing overall in the last almost 4 years now. I bought the clutch with 1,000 miles on it from a buddy of mine. I actually came with the transmission that's in the car now, so that was really nice. I've been playing around with ideas on using Schedule 5 or 16 gauge, or do I use the Schedule 10 and have a very sturdy manifold. I've been messing around with it because this has a little bit more airflow, but this is a little bit more sturdy for heavier turbos and whatnot and high heat. But yeah, so once I get everything all figured out, my main concern was keeping the air conditioning in this car because it works wonderful. And I mean, what's the point in having a BMW if you don't have air conditioning and all the other accessories? But that's been a struggle. I've been playing with ideas in my head because most guys just run straight out and then down a little bit and then go past where the AC compressor would sit or bolt onto. And I don't want to do that. I want to keep it. But other than porting the heads, I gotta get new engine mounts put on. Oops. Sorry, I'm trying to talk to with my hands in my face and not looking at the camera. Anyways, new engine mounts. And I got a couple lines over here I gotta replace. I got this new oil line, this flex piece right here starting to leak. I got new O-rings for this. These 2 return lines and feed lines for the oil filter. I gotta plug this hole, so I'm not running a idle air control valve. Sorry, my brain's not working right. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that yet, because obviously if I go back to a stock ECU, I want to keep this hole. I was just gonna fill it with quick steel, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I got the oil line, engine mounts, port the rest of the 2 back cylinders. I got that line right there I got to replace. That's just a regular power steering hose. No, it's just a feed line. And modify the headers, obviously, because I want to get those at least to bolt on just in case I can't use the turbo setup right away. I still got to do, fabricate the hot side and then probably end up doing a custom manifold on both sides. That way it loops down this way and goes alongside the engine correctly, and also fits down inside that hole on the far side, way down in there, and then loops back around the trans, and then comes back up this way, giving enough room for a downpipe and all that good stuff. And then I gotta pull the front bumper off, cut holes in my perfectly straight and nice car, and run a cold side, run an intercooler, front mount. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a loop back intercooler and try to save myself some of that headache over there, because this section is just jam-packed with crap. So I've been playing with the idea of doing a small front mount, because I don't know where I'm going to run tube through unless I get rid of... I might get rid of this, the cruise control. It doesn't work anyways because I manual flopped it and I don't have the ECU for it. And I cut the wire, or the cable to it, and it's hanging down right there. Not a big deal. I was actually thinking about repurposing this either for a launch control or off and on switch for the stock, and use it as a what's it called? Like an off on switch for my anti-lag. So I'm using OEM parts and stuff. Maybe somewhat fancy. But yeah, so, or I might even do like a water to air intercooler. Depending on my fitment and stuff like that and how big the cooler is. English. Because I don't know if I can get one that fits between here and the turbo. So I can get one that fits between here and then wherever I think the center line of the intake is right here. It should be pretty much even with the center of the trans. So turbo is going to sit about here-ish, yeah, give or take. I got rid of the washer system. I'm probably going to pull the lines and either clip them. I'm going to leave the wiring, I'm going to leave everything as much as possible intact in case I decide to go back to it. So I'm not going to clip wiring. I'm just going to fold it up and tuck it somewhere, probably underneath. But I do want to run an intercooler system. I'm just not sure how I want to do it. I thought about doing front mount down below, like every other E34 has. But on the V8 cars, it's kind of hard to route your tube this way and then up, and because I got a whole bunch of no room really over here because oil filter housing and fan and stuff stick out. I'm probably going to end up running a stock fan until I can get my hands on either a Volvo one or wire in one for that goes into the ECU, because the ECU does have a setup for it, or even just run one that is temperature controlled. But that's probably not going to be until down the line. So it would go a lot quicker if I had more time and more money. Neither of which I have currently, because everything I do have is going towards those two turds. The Titan mostly is cost me a lot of money to keep driving it, and also I keep having sensor issues with ABS, and I just had a purge valve go bad. Haven't had time to put those in yet. Then the Xterra I just got back. I owned this a few years ago. I guess I'll do a video on that too. We'll just make this a compilation of what I've been up to. So I actually owned this about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago this month. Oh, that's when I registered it, at least. I think I got it in middle or late 22. I think it was late 22 because I got it in the winter. So I bought this as a second car for my wife before we even had her X5, which isn't here because she's at work. I'm on lunch. Speaking of which, I should probably go back to work. But this will be, I'll do another video on this. This is going to be my spare vehicle. We're going to try and trade the truck in. I want a Ram. I should have had a Ram in the first place. And then, this is probably going to be a mild overland build. Just something I can daily drive and go take off-road. Nothing too crazy. I still want it to function as a daily driver. Right now I'm just waiting. I gotta get an O2 sensor for it. And I bought it back for $500. I paid $400 for the first time. Fixed it, put a bunch of money into it, sold it, or traded it for a BMW. That didn't work out. I ended up getting a Land Rover in exchange. It was just a whole fiasco. So, and they said the people that had the car, because I gave it to my buddy and he gave it to his brother. Long story short. And they said that they were driving it one day and it kind of crapped out on them, and they never transferred the title, which Kind of irritates me, but whatever. But it crapped out on them. They drove it home, parked it, and never bothered to drive it again. And couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. I got it, diagnosed it as a bad, what you call it, O2 sensor, and the throttle position sensor was bad because it wouldn't shift for crap. So I got both of those. I got one in right now. I got new battery. Just waiting on an O2 sensor to come in tomorrow. And then I'm going to start doing some 4x4 mods because it needs the brackets for the steering, to like all the support brackets and stuff. That way it's stiffened a little bit because these have really weak steering parts. But other than that, realistically, I don't need a whole lot for this thing. It's got a new radiator in it. It has a factory tow package. Full drive works great. It does have the LSD in it, but if you know anything about these Xteras, they have terribly weak LSDs, so they don't really have a lot of traction unless it's like snow or slick mud, because otherwise on concrete it just overpowers and spins one wheel. But yeah, so that'll be future videos. It'll be coming up. This thing's probably going to go away, and you can see all the stuff that I've been pulling out. That tub is pure cast iron. That's why it's in half. It was not fun pulling down from the second story. So yeah, so I got overland / off-road build kind of going. Truck's getting hopefully replaced. If not, then I guess we'll drive that cross country with a trailer. This is getting loaded up into either a car trailer or being shipped across country. I haven't decided yet. Maybe I'll just leave it at my friend's house and fly back during a vacation week and drive it back if I can get it running good enough. Who knows? I haven't decided yet. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to, and catching up on my car. I haven't done a whole lot to the bike. I don't think I've modded anything or done anything to it. I haven't even done an oil change on it yet. Oil's still clean. That needs an oil change. This has already had one. That's not my problem anymore. Neither is this. They both run. They're for sale. I just want them out of my shop at this point before I move. Actually, well before I move. So, yeah. I've been busy dealing with all of that crap in front of my house. You can see all the trash bags from us getting ready to list the house. Probably won't be until April, but we're just trying to get everything in order. I gotta go through and clean the shop. I'm gonna get rid of my engines. I'll probably keep the bare block that's somewhere. Oh, that one over there. I'll keep that one for a spare, along with the cylinder head that goes with it. The M50 block, the spare M54 B30, and the other block that's at my father-in-law's house is all for going away, either scrap or if someone wants to buy it for cheap, I'll sell it to you. And then I just gotta go through, reorganize, start packing. So, needless to say, I have a lot on my plate going on. I've been meaning to make a video of it, and I just haven't yet. So, sorry about that.